We had another chapter written on Monday, Major League Baseball's scandal, involving the biggest name in baseball and his buddy, his toady, following him around for years in Anaheim, Shohei Ohtani. And another twist, if you have not been paying attention, maybe you missed it somehow, you were doing something else, I don't know what you were doing, but the Dodger star Shohei Ohtani breaking his silence in a hastily put together, very bizarre, I wouldn't call it a news conference. A news conference involves Q&A. This was not that. A news conference involves give and take, question and answer. That was not this. This was something else. But there he was, right there, Monday afternoon, first time since the story broke last week that his bestie and interpreter had been fired for the gambling probe. Otani said that he was, quote, very saddened and shocked. He used the word shocked, at least his lawyers did, that his guy, his buddy, was the one that did it. And he spoke, of course, through a different interpreter. Hopefully this one doesn't have a gambling problem. Wink, wink, nod, nod. He said, quote, "I never bet on baseball or any other sports and never asked someone to do it on my behalf," Otani said. And we'd play it for you, but he didn't speak English. The interpreter is the one that said it. So why are we going to bother playing the interpreter? That makes no sense. I want to hear from Otani himself. Now, we could play the Japanese version, but I don't think you'd understand it. So that's the problem. So anyway, Otani went on, and he said, in conclusion, he named the interpreter has been stealing money from my account and has told lies, Otani said. Now, altogether, if you look at the tail of the tape, much like a boxing match, you look at the tail of the tape, you look at the measurements, all of that, height, weight, the arm reach, the whole thing. And Otani spoke for 12 minutes, but that includes the time with the interpreter. So 12 minutes total. The prepared statement was 650 words. 650 words by Otani. So let us discuss the question. Shohei Ohtani meeting with the media. What are your thoughts on these developments? Did it work for Ohtani? Did this carefully crafted news conference work in his favor? So I've got the three wise monkeys, guardrails, and Pixar. And we will combine all of these random things that have never been combined together, and we are going to make the Baba Ganoush is what we're going to make. We haven't made the Baba Ganoush in a while, so we'll make the Baba Ganoush. Now, Shohei Ohtani, I watched this thing. It wasn't very long. I got a lot going on, but I was able to watch it. So Shohei Ohtani seemed very convincing for those that are easily manipulated. And it's one of these things, much like politics in America today, whatever you thought going into that, you believe going out of that. Right? If you think Ohtani would never, he's an angel. He's Mother Teresa with a bat, that he would never, ever gamble. Because who gambles? That if you believe that, then you believe it even more after that. Now, if you believe, hey, wait a minute, there's some funny business going on, you believe that even more after this shindig. You say, what a sham that was. So I'm in the middle, but I am leaning towards the sham side. I'm not completely there, but I do know there's a lot of people, heavy hitters at Major League Baseball, that are trying to run interference for Shohei Ohtani. I'm confused why that is. Why does he need that? I don't quite understand it. But did anyone expect him to come out and admit, yeah, I did it. I did it. I bet. Oh, my God, I was a great game. And then I wasn't. I lost. Of course not, right? You think he was going to hand over the DNA evidence? That's not how it works. Methinks not. So some observations, and I jotted down a few things. Not like Jerry Jones, who just writes his name on a notepad, but I jotted down a few things as I was watching this. The first thought I had, he did not use his wife as a shield, so I'll give Ohtani credit on that. Remember when Kobe Bryant was in some trouble, not gambling, but he used his kids as props and his wife as a prop there to kind of shield the media. So Ohtani did not use his wife, so I'll give him credit on that. There was also no lawyer on the, I guess, stage. It wasn't really a stage, but at the table. I don't know that there was a lawyer there. I was not at this event, so I don't know whether there was a lawyer there for Ohtani or not. So there was no visible legal counsel that was spotted on television. I know there were a lot of billable hours. We know that. And after changing his story last week, it appears that Shohei Ohtani has now settled into his foxhole. He's in his bunker, and this is now his position going forward. It's a humdinger of a story, because if what Ohtani said was not true, he's opening himself up to a lawsuit from if it goes that direction. If what Ohtani said was not completely true, that opens the door to a lawsuit from the interpreter. But essentially, his story is simple. It's 4 words: duped by a buddy. Duped by a buddy. That's the headline. And he's using his defense here, the 3 wise monkeys, to guide the way, right? The 3 wise monkeys with the eye folds and all that. No evil. You see no evil. You hear no evil. You speak no evil and all that. And he's just a victim, and he's, la, 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 just like that. Of course, it doesn't really pass the smell test. Nobody brings that up. I don't know why. Anyone who has any kind of life experience would say it just doesn't work. So for us to believe the Ohtani story, we are supposed to believe that Ohtani or both, the financial advisors, so Ohtani and the financial people that run Ohtani's finances had no idea, did not notice that $4.5 million had been siphoned from his bank account, had been sent elsewhere. Did not notice this until a reporter asked them about it. Does that make any sense? For anyone, maybe in the back of the room, somebody in the back of the room, it makes sense to you. Now, I don't have this kind of money, and I really want to thank the company for keeping me grounded and not giving me the big money. No, seriously. Because I could make the big money, and I'd be a different person. But they want me to be a man of the people. They want me to be a man of the people. So the way I understand this, and maybe I'm completely wrong. I've never had this kind of money. But what we are told is that when you have this kind of money, the banking industry is very protective of what money's going where. Really, the feds are the ones that you have to worry about. They're very stringent with verification when you transfer. You do a wire transfer of these massive amounts of money. This is what I've been told. So there are a lot of protocols. There's a lot of bureaucracy involved in that, in these kind of wire transfers that Ohtani is accused of doing. And I, at one point, admitted to it. And that's where it gets very difficult to believe Ohtani's story, right? Because bank transfers, there's a thing called the CTR, which is the Currency Transaction Report. Any transaction over $10,000, any transaction over 10 grand, you have to fill out paperwork, the information about the sender, the recipient, the nature of the transaction. All of that has to be included. But again, we're supposed to believe that Ohtani had no idea this was going on, that nobody on his financial team realized the money was missing. And the purpose of that, the feds will tell you, the purpose of that is to prevent money laundering and criminal activity, other criminal activity. All right, now, page 2 here. So what do the eyes tell you about the Ohtani story at this point in time? All right, what do the eyes tell you? So I watched this thing, 12 minutes, 650 words, and I am amazed, and it must be a product of age. I am amazed that we still have so many media toe suckers that just believe everything they're told. I guess you haven't been. I've been around too long. I remember when Ryan Braun, the Hebrew Hammer, got up there for the Milwaukee Brewers and was very passionate. There was this great injustice here while he was doing stories. Barry Bonds with the Gigantes. I remember that. Sammy Sosa famously pointing, and or that was Rafael Palmeiro pointing. Sammy forgot English when he got up there in Washington. In Congress. The greatest liar of them all, Lance Armstrong, that scumbag, the cyclist, right? What a dope that guy was. But yet, here we are. So, he said it. It's like Peyton Manning with that Dark Side documentary years ago. It's like, well, if he said it, that's it. He said it. That's all. Okay. All right. You are gullible with a capital G. Capital G for gullible. No critical thinking. Where have you gone critical thinking? Right? And Lance Armstrong, we mentioned him. How about A-Rod? A-Rod lied multiple times. And you can go on. There's a bunch of other ones. But in this chapter of the story for Shohei Ohtani, essentially what he's doing is running, we'll call it like a barber shop, an illegal barber shop, if you will, if there is such a thing. He's shaving the corners of the truth, right? You're barbing, I shave around the mouth. You're shaving around the truth is what you're doing. Like you're getting a version of the truth. I don't know that you're getting the whole truth and nothing but the truth here. And the thing that was a major red flag was the fact that you bothered to hold the news conference without actually taking any questions. Like that was outstanding. And nobody seemed to have brought that up. Like, why is this going on? You just put up guardrails. Shohei Ohtani did. And if Ohtani was the victim, as he said in his 650-word, 12-minute statement, then why wouldn't you take a few questions, right? And if you're not going to take questions, why not just post a video on the gram or some social media channel? Call it a day, because that would have not wasted everyone's time. Like, what's going on with that? And why did the PR hacks, here's the other thing, not allow, this is very odd, cell phone photographs, no cell phone pictures of Ohtani. Why would that be? I don't understand. I mean, seriously, I do not understand. And so it was on television. It was broadcast on state-sponsored Pravda news service for Major League Baseball. It was on the Dodgers. It was on the television. But yet you couldn't take a photo with your phone. Does that make any sense? Maybe it does. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't think I am, but it just made no sense to me. All right, last word here, quickly. So how do you see the Ohtani story changing going forward? How does this go now after he's met with the media, but he didn't take any questions? So this is now headed towards Pixar territory. Ratatouille would be the way a rat. Who's going to rat out Ohtani? And that's the thing. Will it be the bookmaker trying to cut a deal to cut down on jail time? Will it be the interpreter? Who is it going to be? Do the feds even want Ohtani? Because that's really what it depends on, right? The bookie can try to make a deal. Who's gonna rat? Who's gonna sing on Ohtani to try to cut a deal to get less time? Not that there's gonna be a lot of time in this, but any time. If you'd rather be out of jail than in jail, I believe.